Yo, 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 what is up, everybody? Chris here from Esports News, Axe Rotation, however the flip you know me on these interwebs. And today I'm going to be bringing you guys a quick recap as to what happened during Minor 2 of the CDL 2026 season. That, of course, being the minor tournament between Majors 3 and 4. So, I know that was a mouthful. Just wanted to give you guys context, kind of pin the point on the map, and kind of anchor us a little bit. I know there's some new people coming to the channel. That was the first thing I wanted to talk about before we get into the last video. The last video I uploaded did 560 views, which, if you know, is amazing for me. The channel's been going insane, so thanks to everyone who's been showing up, showing love. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you're new and you are enjoying this. But yeah, thanks to everyone who checked it out. And I did just want to say that I am not offering picks on that same topic in the Discord server anymore. I'm going harder with content, helping with COD stats. I'm doing a lot, so I'm not offering the prize picks and stuff. It's just too much work doing all that research and, you know, thinking so much about it while I'm making content and thinking about that as well. So I'm one guy, can only do but so much. So yeah, just wanted to cover that ground because I took the Discord out of my bio and stuff. I'm not promoting it anymore. There's no point if I'm not going to be offering picks, right? So just wanted to cover that. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into reviewing what happened last week because you guys were absolutely torching my shit in the comments. And then getting into my thoughts, right? So yeah, I mean, you guys can see in the comments, I was getting slammed. Put the stats in the bag, gang. I mean, damn, brother. What happened to Falcons? Facts. Phase and finals, nah, that much I don't see happening, but we shall see. W call. This guy doesn't know ball is crazy. Fucking crazy. It's just because there's so many new people to the channel, I get it, but yeah, I mean, that one hurt, guys. So, let's get into some of the spicy picks I made. As you guys can see, I got flamed for the C9 pick. That was what most people in the comments were flaming me for. I will say that's fair. That's fair. I went for the gusto to fully explain myself, to put myself on fucking trial on my own channel. Just because this year I've been getting absolutely surprised by especially Toronto Koi. Pretty much every time Koi has been upset, I picked them to win, even in scenarios where they well, I didn't pick them when they were the lesser team. I never had faith in Insight. Let's not just start spewing bullshit. Anyways, I have picked Koi to win in many occasions, and they absolutely embarrass me every single time. Just like the Riyadh Falcons, same thing with Miami Heretics. There's a few teams where I've had so many mulligans with them, I'm just very hesitant to make decisive calls. I did the inverse with Riyadh Falcons because I have a reverse jinx with them. Every time I think they're going to lose to a really good team like Faze, they somehow beat them. And every time I think that they're going to beat a really good team, they always lose to them. So I don't know what to do with Riyadh. C9, dog shit, confirmed. I mean, Webby and Nezra, they were giving me some hope. But, you know, like Hawkeye, don't give me hope. So, sorry about that, guys. I'm going to be way more serious, way more locked in. The Vancouver Surge pick, that was not like Falcons just like fear-based cheese. That wasn't me just making a panic pick. That was me saying, hey, Miami has not been looking that good. I do not have faith in them long-term with Real over Trakes. And that was reading the tea leaves. So, let's get into the rest of the event because, yeah, we're not going to get into all those misses, right? I mean, I'm saying all those misses. I really didn't miss a lot last weekend. Like, this was correct, this was wrong, this was correct, this was correct, this was correct, this was correct, this was wrong, this was right, but I picked the wrong team coming through, and then this was obviously wrong by default, right? So, yeah, I mean, not bad. I mean, not many misses. Not many misses there. The Gentlemates definitely missed big. We'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, let's get into the box scores because that's what we're here for. So, welcome to COD Stats. If you guys aren't familiar, that is one of our partners on the channel. So yeah, I'm a member of the team, and I've made some content with them. Great guys. Come check out the website. Amazing UI, and yeah, should have a good time. So, speaking of people who had a good time, we have AG, Lay Bag Getter, whatever you want to call him, dropping a 1.24, 97 kills, 78 deaths. Talk to him nice. I did say in the last video, Pred's been upping pace, all jokes aside, and he's been looking phenomenal as a result. And yeah, you can see pace was definitely upped, and he looks great because he outpaced Xnid, one of the fastest players in the league, by damn near 15 kills. So yeah, AG Takeover Series, Legacy Series, whatever you want to call it, 1.24 from a man who won champs in 2024, selling 78 and 70, 83 and 77 from the crown jewel of Saudi Xnid, and 81 and 81 for the Bulldog. So on the other side for the Ravens, you had Fire 40 dropping a 1.01 KD, only player to go positive. Then you had Lurks slightly neg by 6. And then, of course, Exceed neg 10 and Sandy neg 22. Yikes. So, looking at the map 1, Hossie Hardpoint, this went the way of the Riyadh Falcons, as we all would expect. 250 to 174 behind 31 and 22 from Pred and Kismet. The SMGs, well, X is SMG. Pred is he a flex? Kiz moved to SMG, right? Is Exon a flex? I think Exon is a flex. So I guess Pred and Kismet are the SMGs technically. And I don't know. I feel like Falcons are just 3 flexes, low key. Anyways, we're not going to get into the semantics of roles. 25 and 24 from X, Cell, even KD, and 23 and 23 from Fire. I don't think that roles really exist in this game to a large degree just because of how much everyone has to flex, but that's another topic for another day. Anyways, Map 2 Raid S&D went the way of the Royal Ravens. The boys in blue were able to see one go through Lay Hoop. 7 and 6 from Exceed, 7 and 7 from Lurks, 6 and 6 from Fire. And on the other side, X had 8 and 7, and Cell King Cobe went 6 and 6. 4 and 3 was the 4 to 3, excuse me, was the scoreline on the Gritty Overload. This was the first Gridlock Overload that we would see in a tournament filled with many of them. So strap in. You're going to be hearing that a lot. 34 and 24 from Pred AG, Cell 23 and 21, 29 and 21 from Fire, excuse me, and 28 and 23 from Lurks. Damn, I sneezed twice. Don't end up like Logan Paul. Map 4, Sake Hardpoint, 250 to 176 in favor of the Royal Ravens. 26 and 21 from Cell, excuse me, for the L. Excuse me, 23 and 21 from Pred, 20 and 20 from Xnid. And on the other side, Lurks was 27 and 20, Exceed went even 22 and 22, and then Fire and Sandy both went neg. Excuse me, I'm sneezing like nobody's business right now. Map 5, Gritty S&D went the way of the Vegas, formerly, now Riyadh Falcons. 11 and 2 from Exit, 6 and 2 from the Bulldog. He was barking at him, get out my yard, get off my lawn. 6 and 2. 3 and 2 from Cell, and 4 and 5 from Pred. Oh, that sneezing's throwing me off, y'all. Just like the Carolina Royal Ravens got thrown off a cliff. Like that Patrick quote, you know, take them all and push them off a cliff type beat. Anyways, Joe Deceives left type beat. Someone make that. 71 and 55 from Kips. Talk to him nice. 62 and 54 from Abe. 56 and 57 from Jamie Insight. And then 59 and 61 for Kleenex. Then on the other side, you have Webby, 63 and 57. So great showing from the new crown jewel of the C9 squad. Map 1, of course, went the way of Toronto Koi. 250, 176. Absolute belt. Abe 34 and 23, 30 and 27 from Kleenex, and then Kips went neg 1, Insight went neg 5. I mean, it's not really a big deal when you're winning by that much, right? Nezra 30 and 27, 27 and 25 from Webby, and then Hyde and Encourage both went negative. Hyde neg 2, but Encourage went neg 11, so that'll definitely get her done. 6 to 3 on the Raid S&D from the Toronto Koi side. No Joe, no problem. 11 and 5 from Kip, 7 and 6 from Insight, 6 and 6 from Abe. Then on the other side you have Webby 8 and 7 and Hyde 6 and 6. Then in the Den Overload you had Kips going 33 and 22, 25 and 22 from Insight, and then Kleenex and Abe both going negative. Now on the C9 side you have Webby going 28 and 25 for the L, but yeah, I mean C9, I was probably the only person on Earth who expected them to win. I almost said no one expected them to win, but holy shit, almost unintentional cell phone. Anyways, speaking of cell phones, the Miami Heretics owned themselves by benching Trakes and putting Real in his place. I called it. I said these guys would be absolute dog piss, and they were. 1.37 from Mamba. He took over. They had Mamba looking like Mercules this weekend. Holy. 1.16 from Nero, Lunar's 1.13, and Craze dropped a 0.97, but it doesn't matter. I mean, you go -2, your team is probably going to win if your other teammates do their job, right? So as you guys can see, I actually wagered on this upset. I put 5,000 creds down on this one, and I won 13,000. So you guys can see I put my money where my mouth is. I wasn't just saying Vancouver would win. Oh, I was the only person that bet on Vancouver. I also was the only person that bet on that series, it looks like. Anyways, map 1, Gridlock Hardpoint went the way of the Vancouver Surge. This was a tone setter for the series. Seeing the Surge win such a close HP definitely made my ass feel good. I was like, alright, one went through the hoops, so Miami's not at their usual strength, right? 37 and 27 from Nero the Hero, the Emperor, whatever you want to call him. Mamba went 32 and 24. Lunar's 30 and 24, and then Craze -5, but not a big deal when you're winning by 16. On the Miami side, you of course had Super popping off for 34 and 30, but everybody else got tucked to bed. Real -11, 22 and 33. Metals 20 and 32. I mean, GG go next. 6-3 on the raid S&D in favor of the Vancouver Surge, behind 10 and 4 from Mamba. He was not snaking, but he put his venom into him, you know? 10 and 4 from the Snake Man, 6 and 4 from Lunars, 9 and 6 from Craze, his duo. Well, Mamba's duo, if you know. And then in the map 3, Scar Overload, we had the Vancouver Surge closing this one out, 3-2, drowning them out, if you will. Rancor dropped 33 and 27, but it was not good enough against a team that had an even slaying effort led by Mamba going 28 and 23, 1.22 KD from the Cowboy himself, 30 and 27 from the Emperor, and then Craze went even, and Lunars went slightly neg by 1. 0.96 is a great showing, though. Whoops, clicked on the wrong thing. Now, speaking of the right thing, we had the G2 Minnesota side taking on Boston Breach, Kremp taking on his old org, right? And yeah, I mean, Kremp popped off. He was just showing, hey, I might have played for Boston Breach, but no love lost, right? 1.14 KD from the Krempster, 96 and 84, which is pretty crazy considering there's only 4 maps. I mean, almost 100 kills in 4 maps is wicked pace. So yeah, looking at the map 1, Hossie Hardpoint, 28 and 28 from Krempy himself. And then on the Boston Breach side, who took it 250 to 180, of course, you had Purge popping off for 29 and 18. His SMG duo Afro meeting his pace with 31 kills and 24 deaths. And then Spart doing his thing, 23 and 22. And TJ struggling a little bit, but gave a great contribution, 21 and 25. Now, they weren't able to chain that momentum into a map 2 win. The G2 Minnesota side was able to eke out a very, very close round 11. Wouldn't be a G2 series without a really close S&D or a game 5, right? Like, that's trademark G2. So, Dark Prince came through, and he absolutely led the boys to victory. 10 and 6 from Envoy. Kremp, 9 and 7. Nasty, 7 and 6. And then Skies, he had a rough one, 4 and 9, but his teammates carried him through. So, you know, didn't do anything, got an A on the group project type shit. Speaking of type shit, Spart 10 and 6, TJ 9 and 8. TJ always going to get his in S&D, that's a guarantee, right? So yeah, I mean that's how they close it out. Then in the map 3, Gridlock Overload, to the surprise of absolutely no one, the G2 Minnesota side was very dominant in the Overload. Their objective efficiency with Envoy, definitely very, very good. 30 and 24 from Kremp, 21 and 19 from Nasty, 23 and 23 from the Dark Prince, and Skies went -3. So everybody did well. On the Boston side, of course, everybody went negative, as you would expect. Then they ran it back on Gritty again. You, of course, had the excuse me, you had Envoy popping off for 30 and 23, Kremp 29 and 25, Nasty 21 and 19, and Skies going slightly neg 16 and 19. And then on the Boston Breach side, you had Afro being the only player, the only player to go positive with 27 and 24. So, in our next series, we had the Paris Gentle Mates, now with Joe Deceives, taking on the Toronto Koi, who, of course, have Abe in place of Joe Deceives. And Joe Deceives left midweek during scrims, if you guys did not know. He got picked up midweek. So, yeah, the reason why the kill totals are so high is because we had the second longest overload game of all time. So, if you missed that one, excuse me, sorry, I'm so congested after sneezing. You guys heard me. I was not this congested a minute ago. Anyways, the highlights are here. Sorry, just
Like,
sneezing
compared to
like
them,
that
there's
is
no big
making me
jump
feel
mates.
weird. Maybe I'm getting allergies. Where were we? So yeah, so the mates, they made quick work of them. I'm actually out of it, guys. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what happened. It happened in real time since I started recording. So bear with me as I'm like making it through. I don't know what's going on. So Ghosty 80 and 67, as I said before, he popped off. He dropped the hard point, the overload kill record in the double overtime overload that we got. We'll talk about that in a second, though. Joe Thieves, the new addition to the team, 80 and 70, of course, rejoining his former teammate on the LA Thieves a few years ago, Dan Ghosty. Estriel, 72 and 66. Joe was saying in the interview that him and Estriel have been playing together since they were like 16. I did not know that they, A, knew each other, and B, played together. So that's pretty cool. Sib, 78 and 72. And then on the other side, Kips, the new pickup, and really the star of this Koi team now, had a 1.08, so pretty commendable for him, 79 and 73. Looking at the map one, it was 250 to 148 in favor of the Gentlemates. This is where the tone was really set for the series, right? This is where the Gentlemates said, hey, even though we don't have any practice, we're still a lot better than the team that Joe was on before. So thanks for Joe and suffer. That's really what they said, you know? Joe, 33 and 21, 25 and 20 from Estriel, 28 and 24 from Sib, and 25 and 22 from Dan Ghosty. On the Koi side, everybody got absolutely slammed. Insight minus 12. I mean, it is what it is, right? Speaking of it is what it is, it went to a round 11, and the Paris Gentlemates were able to walk away with it. They looked really good here. So did Toronto Koi. I mean, even though there's no Joe Deceives, who has been a mainstay in that team for the better part of 2 years, they look good. They look good. I mean, Koi is on minimal practice, excuse me, as is the Paris Shellmates. So this being a square up and going round 11 kind of makes sense. Neither team has information on the other since both were playing their first official matches. Well, Paris is playing their first official match, and Koi had only played one official match, so it was definitely going to be a game of responses, right? Looking at it, Ghosty was 8 and 5, Estriel was 11 and 7, Sib 7 and 8, and then Joe Deceives was 5 and 9 for the dub. On the other side, Kips was the only player to go positive, 13 and 8 for the L, but everybody did their thing with the exception of Abe. He just kind of had a rough game and wasn't a strong contributor in most of the crucial plays. Speaking of strong contributors in most of the crucial plays, you of course had Ghosty dropping 47 and 40, 43 and 40 from Sib, 42 and 40 from Joseph Decivacos, and 36 and 39 from Estriel. On the other side, for the Toronto Koi, you had Kips going 45 and 40, and then you had Insight going 40 and 39. This was honestly the best overload of the year. The thing that made it really exciting was there were a lot of really close like goal line stances, and it was a defensive masterclass. So I really highlighted a lot of this overload game. As you guys can see, like, how long is it? It is about 12 minutes in total. So, nah. I'm lying. It's about 11 minutes. About 11 minutes of overload highlights. So, yeah, it was a very long, very substantive game. The actual game runtime itself was about 20, and I condensed that into 11 minutes of highlights. So, hope you guys enjoy that. But yeah, definitely go back and check that out because it was absolute cinema. The title is not clickbait there. So, speaking of things that are not clickbait, the LA Thieves gave G2 Minnesota a vicious case of the beats. I mean, 250 to 206, very close, respectable. It wasn't a vicious case of the beats. I'm being disrespectful. I'm being absolutely disrespectful. Let me just slow my roll. Start with the, series MVP. Who else but Ernie, right? I mean, that just makes sense. 66 and 55, the leader of the team, the captain of the LA Thieves. Hydra, of course, his duo for the last couple of years, 60 and 55. Abizi, the new pickup on the team, 1.09, new kid on the block doing his thing. And then Neum, the rookie of the year, 56 and 58. But this was not his final or his best form. So, On the other side, speaking of people in their final slash best form, you had Kremp going 63 and 59 for the L, 1.07 KD, 8,000 damage when the next best on his team was at 7,700. It's pretty remarkable, right? Kremp was just doing a lot. I mean, his team was somewhat showing up, but I mean, minus 14 for Envoy, that's tough. Minus 9 for Nasty, that's not that bad. Minus 5 for Sky is not that bad, but yeah, I mean, LA Thieves just definitely had more gas in the tank than the G2 side. So, speaking of gas in the tank, we got off to a very hot start with a Gas Colossus HP. This is a fun one, so if you missed it, definitely check it out. Even though the 3-0s came through en masse this weekend, a lot of them were pretty close within the series themselves. So, there were definitely some fun highlights. I mean, the series themselves were fun to watch in real time, too, so I will say that. So, enough, I digress. But 36 and 31 from Scrap to start off their day, and really just, well, they only played one match. Start and finish their day, right? So, first map one, last map one of the day. 33 and 32 from Abizi. Hydra went neg 2, and then Neum went neg 10. Didn't matter. They still won by 44, so no big deal. On the other side, Kremp went 34 and 30. Nasty was 29 and 28. Skies was 30 and 30. And Envoy was neg 2, 33 and 35. So Envoy had a lot of engagements. He had high pace, so that's what you want to see from Envoy. Also had the most damage on his team. 4,440. So, yeah, Envoy looked great here. Even though he didn't finish as many kills as Kremp, he certainly did his thing in terms of the damage output. Looking at the map 2, of course, the damage output from Kremp was massive, as it was from Skies. I mean, 1445 is pretty crazy, considering usually Caesar plays at a pretty slow pace. 10 and 8 from Kremp, 8 and 8 from Caesar Skies, and then on the other side you had Neum 11 and 7, and Scrap going 9 and 7 as the top fraggers in this round 11 S&D. The SMG duos, Duo, Abizi, and Hydra, of course, both went even, 7 and 7 for Abe, and 6 and 6 for Paco. So, looking at the map 3, Den Overload, of course, speaking of Hydra, he was the standout, 24 kills, 17 deaths, 1.41 KD overall. Everybody on G2 in the red, 21-17 from Scrap, 22 and 18 from Abizi, and then Neum was 23 and 19 for the 3-0 dub. Now, speaking of 3-0 dubs, you had Optic Texas taking down their Ops, the Riyadh Falcons, in a 3-0. AG got absolutely joked on in this series, even though he was the standout on his team with the highest KD. You know, Optic was just playing way better. 56 and 41 from Dashy. He made a splash, no pun intended. 58 and 47 from Shotzi. 56 and 46 from Mercules. And then Hook the Nuke, 47 and 48. So, you know, in each Optic series, we saw somebody's pace absolutely fall off a cliff. It's kind of interesting, right? So, in this one, it's Hook, and the next one, it's Merc. I don't know. Just interesting things to note. So anyway, speaking of things to note, we of course had Optic Texas giving the Riyadh Falcons a lot of things to take notes on in this map 1 Scar HP. 30 and 20 from Dashy, 25 and 21 from Mercules. Then on the other side, Pred went 28 and 25 for the L, and that's all she wrote. Map 2, Sake S&D was not close at all. Optic just absolutely made these guys look lost and like they're not even pros. It looked like a pub. Shotzi almost got back-to-back aces to seal the game. He got an ace in round 7, and then he got 3 in round 8. So, yeah, it was just insane. 11 and 5 from the Warlord. He called in an airstrike. He called in the artillery, whatever. 8 and 5 from Hook the Nuke. He went nuts. 6 and 4 from Mercules, and Dashy 3 and 5 had his feet up. On the other side, Bulldog, he was calling some shots, he was getting some kills, but 9 and 7 when everybody else is going 5 and 7, 3 and 7, and 2 and 7 respectively is, you know, tough scenes. Speaking of tough scenes, we had the exposure overload obviously going the way of Optic Texas, as we have established it was a 3-0, so yeah. Dashy 23 and 16, 28 and 21 from the Warlord Shotzi himself, 25 and 21 from Mercules, and 21 and 20 from King Cobra, Mr. Celium, to close things out. Now, speaking of things being closed out, the Vancouver Surge were almost able to drown them out. Faze were able to recover and get a much-needed win over Mamba and Craze. Finally, kind of closing the chapter on what was a nightmare that started at the last EWC and ironically resulted in Abuza and O4 joining this team, which they left the Vancouver Surge to do, which is quite interesting, right? By the time EWC rolled around, Abuza and O4 were on Vancouver Surge and Mamba was on Omit with Craze. So it's crazy how things can change in just a few months in the CDL. Looking at how things changed, Abuza definitely changed. He became the top fragger for the Faze side in this series. 1.2 from Abuz. 112 kills, 93 deaths, 13,000 damage. Looking at the scoreboard, of course, Twin, his duo 04, 110 kills, 98 deaths, and a 1.12. And then Draza, 100 kills, 102 deaths. And then Simp, 87 kills, 101 deaths. Off series from Simp, but it is what it is. Mamba, of course, had one of the best series that he's had in a long time. 105 kills, 95 deaths, 1.11 against Faze. You have to really respect that. So, speaking of things you have to really respect the way that Mamba dropped a 41 piece on their foreheads with 30 deaths to boot. 250 to 231 in favor of the Vancouver Surge. If you guys missed this, this was a very interesting one because Simp had one of the worst maps I've ever seen from him in my life. 20 and 36 from my GOAT, Insane, Sayed Ahsoka. 42 and 30 from Abuz. 39 and 33 from his Zaza duo brother Draza. 36 and 36 from Mr. 04, and then on the other side, Mamba, as I said before, 41 and 30, excuse me. And then his duo Craze was 37 and 34. I'm messing up the stats I'm reading, guys. I'm tweaking. Nero and Simp just had a... Yeah, speaking of ass, of course, Vancouver Surge probably felt like ass after they went up 5. No, they didn't go up. Faze went up, and Vancouver won 4 in a row. They couldn't make it 5 to win the S&D, but thankfully for Faze, they closed it out here, because if they didn't, would have been Vancouver in 4. 11 and 7 from the CEO. Board meeting, hostile takeover was called, and the Vancouver Surge, everybody had to clear the room. All the execs were gone. 9 and 6 from Abuza, 9 and 7 from 04, getting their victory over their old team. 11 and 8 from Nero, aka Big Thirsty, as they call him on the broadcast, for certain reasons. I don't know why. Everybody on his team let him down just a little bit, you know. And then in the map 3, Expose Overload, of course, this went the way of the Vancouver Surge, which was, very surprising to me. But when you look at how much the Vancouver Surge were able to capitalize on the slang differential here, everything makes a little bit more sense, right? You have Mamba +4, you have Craze +4, and you have Nero +2, so those kills were clearly gotten at a really ill-fated time for the Faze Vegas side, and that was difference maker, right? Looking at the map 4, Gridlock Hardpoint, this went the way of Faze Vegas. This is a really interesting one because I really did think it was over. So did Nameless. He thought it was over for his mustache, but, you know, Faze 04 was like, I got you, twin. And, yeah, they brought it back 250 to 227 behind 33 and 25 from Twin himself, the man who saved Nameless's entire facial hair. 32 and 27 from Simp, 32 and 28 from Abuz, and 23 and 35 from Drawzilla. So yeah, Draza had a really bad map 4, but didn't matter. His teammates are just better. Speaking of people being just better, Nero, the hero, dropped 34 and 31, and his AR duo, Mamba, dropped 31 and 30. Well, no, Luna's the AR. Is he? Is Nero SMG now? Nero started out the year as a main AR. See, this game has no roles, because why are Nero, Mamba, and Craze on the same team if this game has roles? That doesn't make sense. Especially with Nero switching to AR start the year, supposedly, if this game had roles. Anyway, speaking of this game not having roles, we had Faze assuming their roles as the guards. And, yeah, the Vancouver Surge, they were the prisoners in the Zimbardo prison experiment. 9-2 from 04, 8-4 from Draza, 6-4 from Abuza, and 3-5 from Simp. Simp just did not have a good weekend. Like, I mean, he had a couple good maps here and there, but for the most part, he's getting slammed. Speaking of Simp getting slammed, Vine Boom Sound. We had the LA Thieves taking down Faze Vegas. As you guys can see, I made a game time decision, hashtag GTD, and I actually put my money behind the LA Thieves. I made a day of call, After the video, after all the hate comments, I thought to myself, and I was like, Christopher, do you really see LA Thieves losing to Faze after winning the last event? And I was like, hell no. Especially not after they beat Faze last week. It really got me to thinking. I was like, man, everybody's been pretty consistent this weekend. It seems like things are kind of petering out a little bit, and we're figuring out where team strengths and weaknesses are, and the game doesn't have any more random elements to inject into the mix, right? Like everything is known. There are no more unknowns. It's all knowns. So, yeah, the knowns now are that Faze, for the last 3 months since Major 2, have been struggling. So, speaking of people who were not struggling, we had Neum as our series MVP, 1.23 KD from the kid, Rookie of the Year, 65 and 53. And then you had his AR duo Scrap, 67 and 55, 1.22 for Ernie, 62 and 55 from Abizi, and 61 and 64 from Abizi's SMG duo, Mr. Paco Hydra himself. So, on the Atlanta Faze, Freudian slip. Faze Vegas side, you had Abuza being the only player to go positive, but when you're going even, can you really say you went positive, right? Draza -8, Simp -10, and 04 -11. So on the Faze side, everybody had pretty much a .88 or a .8. I mean, matching .84s for your SMG duo, tough, right? But then when you look at the maps, makes a little bit more sense, right? LA Thieves were very, very savvy in these maps. These are maps that Faze definitely feel comfortable on. Hacienda is always a map where Faze, no matter the iteration of it, has always felt comfortable with the BZ, and Cell they definitely felt comfortable last year. They played it a lot, and a lot of their worst moments occurred on that map and Skyline. Let's not talk about it. Shout out to Miami. So yeah, anyways, 29 and 27 from Simp, 29 and 24 from Abuza 04, his SMG compadre, and then the Zaza duo went neg 3 and 4 respectively for Abuza and Draza. On the LA Thieves side, you had Scrap taking over, 31 and 26, Abizi going 30 and 27, and then Neum going 27 and 25. 250 to 244 is crazy. Like, Thieves and Faze, I don't know that there's like 100-point difference between all of the hard points they played. Like, they've all been so close. It defies all logic. So, speaking of defying all logic, how the hell did Faze get 6-2'd in Sake S&D? That's what I'm asking, right? 10 and 2 from Abizi, 10 and 4 from Hydra, 6 and 6 from Abuza on the other side for the L. I mean, LA Thieves were just walking them down, right? Like, they were feeling like 6-9. They were like, I walk shit down, you know? So, if you guys want to know how that came to fruition, another shameless plug, you can find out on the channel. You can find out how that 6-0 went down. So, yeah, I mean, Faze definitely went down, you know? 3-2 was the scoreline on Scar Overload. Down goes Phaser! Down goes Phaser! You know? Not Fraser, Phaser, you know? That should be a quote. Down goes Phaser. Anyways, Abuza 30 and 27, Draza 30 and 29. The ARs did their thing throughout the entirety of this series, with the exception of the map 2 for Draza, where he went 1 and 6. But it just wasn't enough, honestly. You know, LA Thieves, they were just better in this series all the way around. 35 and 24 from Neum. Scrap 35 and 26. I mean, dropping 30 in an overload with no OT is pretty crazy, right? So to have 4 players drop a 30 bomb is pretty insane. Simp 20 and 30, so his struggles definitely continued. You know what? You know why Simp was struggling? He tweeted and he said funerals are the worst. Bro had to go to a funeral. So, yeah, my condolences to Simp and his family. It's understandable why Faze had such a bad weekend. And I'm going to edit something in and post to, like, yeah, make it, like, more clear that Simp was just having a really, really insane personal weekend. Anyways, speaking of things that are going to take some time, we had Shotzi dropping a 1.73, 69 kills, 40 deaths. So, yeah, I mean, Ant-Man was doing everything. He cooked the jungle mates, right? 60 and 39 from Hook. Oh, my God. Yeah, I mean, that gap in the KD is absolutely insane. Even for a new team, I mean, is this indicative of something for the Gentlemates? I certainly hope not. They spent a lot of money on Joe Deceives. Joseph Decibicus? I mean, that's fucking tough, bro. I don't know why I always do that soundbite whenever I think of Joe. It's just funny. It's so yeah. It's 51 and 36 from Dashy, and then what I was saying before about Optic players dropping 40 kills and them trading off. Here's Merc dropping 40. So maybe it's something in the system, or maybe there's something going wrong with the way that Optic plays that results in somebody just not getting in the mix a lot. I don't know. Maybe that's something for them to look at in terms of how they perform in finals, because that's the only consistent underperformance I've noticed. Just someone always having about 40 kills and not having a lot of engagements. I don't know if it's just because in Optic's team system, like 3 have to fry and there's only so many kills on the map. That's what makes the most sense to me. But yeah, that's definitely something to obscure if you're a coach. Anyway, speaking of things to obscure, the gentlemen need to obscure what the hell happened to Daniel Ghosty and Joseph Dosivicus in this series, because the former LA Thieves EWC Grand Final duo dropped 20 kills and 44 deaths. Holy. On the other side, you had Shotzi going 27 and 12, Hook going 21 and 12, Merc going 21 and 16, and Dashy going 15 and 13 for the dub. If you combine Shotzi and Hook, they're 48 and 24. I mean, wow. Speaking of Shotzi and Hook, they of course did their thing in the map too, but Dashy, this is another Dashy takeover. I mean, he's been taking over in S&D lately, so that's not that surprising, but 13 and 4 from any player, especially the oldest player in the league, definitely got to look at that. It's kind of interesting. 7 and 4 from Hook, 8 and 6 from Hydra, wrong team, Shotzi, and then Mercules was 2 and 7, so really bad series for Merc. I mean, it happens. Everybody's prone to have an off day, right? On the other side, for the L, Estriel 7 and 6, barely positive, right? I mean, you lost by 3 rounds, so got slammed. Speaking of getting slammed, I mean, it was 6-0. They need some leg room, right? Shotzi 34 and 22, 32 and 23 from Hook the Nuke, 23 and 19 from Dashy. The 3-piece that Hook hit on the Gentlemates in this map, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, bro. It was just, oof. So, anyways, in our last match of the weekend, the Grand Finals, of course, Optic Texas got farmed. I mean, what else did you expect at this point, right? There's just something going on with these guys in finals. They get to the finals, and somebody just underperforms and drops like a .84. So, I mean, they all drop .8s for the most part. Dashy and Hook drop .9s, but looks like Shotzi was the guy who was a little bit behind. But when you're getting outslayed this badly, you can't say that he was a little bit behind when, you know, the difference between him and Merc is like 10 kills, give or take. Merc's neg 14. You know, Shotzi's neg 21. That's not that big of a difference. I mean, you're both getting slammed. Anyways, let's get into the box score for the LA Thieves side. Hydra 1.21, MVP of the series. 132 kills, 109 deaths. He outpaced Abizi by almost 10 kills, which is crazy, even though he had 3 more damage than him. It just proves that he was finishing a lot of kills and getting just a lot of really crucial kills. 123 and 106 for Abizi. 115 and 109 for Scrap, and then Neum slightly neg by 5.95, 101 kills, and 106 deaths. Now, speaking of the LA Thieves being dominant, they dominated this map 250 to 104, 32 and 15 from Hydra, 23 and 15 from Neum, Scrap 27 and 20, and 26 and 20 from Abizi. Honestly, I don't know what it is with Optic in these finals, guys. They came out really flat here. They look like a completely different team. I don't know what it is. In the S&D, of course, this was 6-1 in favor of the Thieves. Neum 10 and 2. Neum took over and went absolutely crazy in this map. He was just running it. 5 and 2 from Scrappy, 6 and 5 from Hydra, and Abizi went even 3 and 3. Now on the other side, Hook was 2 and 6, Shotzi was 2 and 6, Dashy was 3 and 6, and Merc was 5 and 7. I mean, yeah, Optic got farmed, right? You had Mercules minus 13 in the map 1, Dashy minus 12, 14 and 26 from Dashy, 18 and 31 from Merc. I mean, this is not a characteristic Optic series, obviously. This is it's very, very weird in retrospect, just looking at the box score and not watching it. It's weird enough to watch it, but now that I'm looking at the box score on a Monday morning, I'm like, not Monday morning. It's Monday afternoon. It's like late in the day. I mean, I've had a full work day. I don't even know why I said that. maybe Dash is still mentally stuck in the morning too, because he was 28 and 22, but his teammates were living in the present where Optic was absolutely ass cheeks on a stick. So, looking at it, the LA Thieves, of course, had Hydra going 32 and 23, absolutely gapping and mapping these guys for the dub. 23 and 23 from Scrappy, and then, yeah, aBeZy and Neum both went negative ever so slightly, but it didn't matter. I mean, they dominated these guys on the Den Overload, so just go back and watch it if you missed it. A lot of successful team pushes. LA Thieves were playing way better as a team than Optic were. They were hitting things more decisively with 2s, 3s, and as a 4-man squad, and Optic was just playing very individualistic and just ego-chowing, like the Dynasty days. So, looking at the map for a Gridlock Hardpoint, Mercules, this was the one time this weekend where he really looked like himself and gave a classic Mercules trademark performance. 36 and 28 from the Mullet himself. Dashy, 30 and 30, he went even. Hook, 27 and 27. And then on the other side of BZ, the only player on Thieves to go positive with 32 and 27. I mean, Scrap was -1, so not a big deal, but, you know. Like, Hydra's -4, that's not that big of a deal. Like, -6 is also not that big of a deal, but, you know, you lost by 2 points, so you figure if these guys get a few more kills, it's probably not even that close of a game, and the series is over. Anyways, speaking of places where you thought the series would be over, we had a Hossie S&D going the way of Optic Texas. To be honest, I did think Optic would probably win this. They've always been really, really good at Hossie S&D, Dashie and Shotzi especially, so yeah. Looking at it, of course, you had Mercules going 8 and 5 for the dub, 6 and 5 for Hook the Nuke, 6 and 6 from, and then 6 and 6 from Dashie and Shotzi. They had the same KD, so just bundle it. On the LA Thieves side, you of course had aBeZy trying to get Thieves over the finish line, get them back-to-back minor tournament wins, sweeping the minors on the season, but of course Optic Texas had very different ideas. Neum was 7 and 7, but when you have Hydra and Scrap putting up 3 and 7, both, you know, not going to win the map. Speaking of not going to win the map, Optic was not going to win this map. I know they had PTSD to, you know, Major 1 when Ghosty beat them on Scar. It's got to be tough, right? You lose a Game 7 on Scar S&D. You lose a Game 6 on Scar Overload. I think Faze at Major 2 beat them on a Scar to end the tournament too, right? Let's see. Okay, let's look at all of Optic's recent L's in the grand finals. Have they lost on the same map every time? Oh, they lost on Exposure against Faze, so no, they clearly haven't. That chain was broken right there, so I mean, we'll check it just to be sure. Den. Okay, so they've lost 2 finals on the same map, right? So that's tough though. So yeah, I mean, let's go back to the Den, right? Read the stats off. 30 and 24 from aBeZy to get that chip. Hydra going 31 and 27, 28 and 27 from Scrappy, and Neum was -11, but it didn't matter. Best overload player in the world can go negative when his team's frying like that, right? The boys got his back. They were like, you know what, Neum? You've been so good at this damn mode. Just chill, bro. Just have a bad game. Fuck it. We got you, gang. Hilarious. I mean, perfectly balanced, too. I mean, they dropped a 1 KD to win this tournament. Thieves just showed that they have perfected team play in Black Ops 7, and at the current moment, they are the best team in the world because their teamwork was unfuckwittable when it mattered. So yeah, guys, also I'll wrap it up for me. I think LA Thieves right now is the most complete team in the world, and I think they are the best team in the world. I think that's why in each and every one of these maps, they were absolutely waxing Optic's ass cheeks. They're 4-1 against them on the season. They are consistently better than these guys, and they have beaten them in back-to-back finals. So, LA Thieves are currently the best team in the world. Argue with the wall. Green wall, it'll be okay. Maybe you guys will win a tournament this year. You still have 2 more chances. Hopefully Mercules being a little bit off recently is not a consistent sign of things to come. But if it is what it is. So yeah, guys, I'll see you on the next video. Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought. If you made it this far, comment like golf ball or some shit. And yeah, thanks for all the love and support. Appreciate you guys helping me get the engagement up on Le Channel. And yeah, catch you guys tomorrow with probably a dissection of what Optic has been doing wrong and what they can do to get right in the grand finals from my perspective. Hint, it has something to do with getting hot. Anyways, speaking of getting hot, my room is hot as fuck. I want to put the fan back on me, and I keep it off when the mic is on because I don't want that interference. So I'll catch you guys later. Hope you have a great morning, noon, or night wherever you may be on this beautiful planet. Hope you guys are staying cool. And yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Once again, this is Chris from Fake Sports News, Expectation, however the flip you know me, these interwebs, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.